All right, you should be up, Lawrence.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the WOSCRL post race show. I am Lawrence Shaughnessy, filling in for Captain Sinus Injury. Bobby Patrica is your host tonight. Welcome everybody. We got a couple special guests with us tonight. We've got Bobby Patrica and Nikki Bobby as usual, and then our wonderful broadcasters, Josh Gwynn and Skylar Grissom. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody?
Skylar's muted, so everything's great.
Not everybody talk at once, damn it.
Don't everybody talk at once. Jesus Christ. Making me look like a buffoon up here. I do a good enough job myself.
Well, I wasn't able to really breathe until about 2 hours ago, so I appreciate you taking on a little bit more of the talking duties. I had a little surgical procedure midweek with my sinuses, and still the healing process, and having a hard time with the old nose. So I sound like I've got about 47 clothespins on my nose. So as we mentioned, as I told Lawrence before we went on air, I was like, I'm only slightly more annoying than I usually sound.
Well, so we were at Sonoma tonight. That can only be described as an event that occurred.
Yes, that's one way to put it.
As far as my race went, we'll just kind of go into the how'd your race go portion of the show. As far as my race went, I just kind of drove around in 8th. I didn't get a qualifying lap because I ran out of time because I'm terrible. And it wasn't 8 minutes like it should be on a road course. Skylar. But didn't get a lap, managed to mostly avoid the lap 1 carnage. We'll get into that here in a few minutes. And then just kind of worked my way up to 8th, and that's where I stayed the whole race. Nikki, how'd your race go? I saw you a few times. We battled back and forth.
We went back and forth. No, more like you went off into the dirt, and then I passed you, and then you drove right by me.
There was a lot of us in the dirt tonight.
A little bit sour about the stage caution.
My bad.
That's in the past. Top 10, $110. I'll take it.
Yeah, we got to get into that too. We had
I
our
heard
we had
that.
our dash for the fastest lap cash or fastest lap bonus tonight. So we'll get into that a little bit later. That was an interesting battle. Bobby, you had a couple run-ins with some tires and some cars and some other things. How'd your race go?
I mean, I was on track for that top 10 that I said last week that I really wanted. That it seemed like for the second half of the race, I just really struggled with the braking into the hairpin. For some reason, I was trying to move the brake bias around a little bit. It just wheel hopped like crazy every time I'd go in there, and one too many times it wheel hopped on me and ultimately spun me into those tires that are filled with cement. They are not movable like they are in real life, and so ended up with 8 minutes of repairs. Got it fixed, came back out, had some clean track. Somebody pulled out on the racetrack in front of me with a smoking car, so it ruined that lap. I spun out. Somebody passed me, even though I pulled out right in front of him, and then I was going to get the fastest lap on the last lap, but he didn't know I was doing it and held me up, and so that's how Nikki got the almighty $10 tonight. But it was fun. It was, what did you say it was, Lawrence? Like 300s or 3/10 or something between us?
300s. But
Between all
we'll
three?
get into a little
Yeah.
bit more detail in that in here in just a second. Josh, since you're with us, what did it look like from the booth? How did you guys fill 40 laps worth of time and 5 caution laps? Because the pace car driver is Vern Mylander
Well,
around
the
this
pace
place.
laps. The pace laps are easy to fill because we were just going through and looking at people spinning off during the caution laps.
I did
it was
that
like-
too.
I
I
think
matched
it's
my
like-
fastest lap under caution.
Oscar really almost killed himself under that caution lap. Other than that, we were just looking at some of the battles. Like obviously 1 and 2 were gone, but Gary and Chris and Barry, they were all with each other for like the majority of the last run, so they were pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I got a pretty good view of that battle, and including inserting myself in there for like 2 laps after the stage end, and then I drove off the track a couple times. But
There was one spot where I thought for sure you were done. And then there you were just like on my back bumper a lap and a half later.
well, I learned how to drive the car with damage after driving, driving around after the second corner, which is the first incident we'll get into in a second. So a little extra front end damage didn't matter. I was a little frustrated about the way that whole thing went down. With Gary and John. John ran me off the track the lap before that, and then Gary ran me wide the next lap. So I was just frustrated and goosed it and almost alt F4, and then realized that you were the only other person that was going to pass me, Nikki. So I jumped back in and said, we'll keep on going. So as far as incidents go, Bobby, you want to pull up old lap 1 around? Yeah, let's call it P15. I got a pretty good view of it.
Let's watch this start.
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring that on up here full screen, and want to
Run
run
the
it.
driving line off, you freaking goof.
I need to know where the track is.
I promise you, the laps that I was running up until tonight, like I was. Let's just say that I've struggled the last few days. It's like I just need to have a very minimal idea of what the hell to do here, because when I drove my first laps, I was so out to lunch it wasn't even funny. All right, so yep, let's take a look here. So on the pole we had how did that go? Let's see. It was Aaron on the pole by holy shit a lot. 7/10 on the pole over Whitley. Doran,
If we
Jensen.
all start racing on a potato, we might get faster.
Yeah. Yeah, there's.
I don't think it has
those
anything to
guys
do with
were-
the potato.
Yeah. Those guys are just insanely fast. All right, so let's get rolling here. Let's get it moving. So took the green. Good battle on up to turn 1 here.
You almost don't want the pole here just because Mark has such a better line into turn 2 here. You can run side by side through 1.
So I think by this point we've already had our first incident. So let's roll on back
Yeah, we've
here.
got a car around in turn 2.
I know it was right behind me, so I'm going to go ahead and pull. We're going to focus on Abi because I ended up getting some X's out of this and looked up at the mirror, was like, what the hell's going on back there?
Blocker, put it out.
Oh, geez.
You don't realize how netcode giveth, netcode taketh away. You got the good end, so you got a netcode incident coming your way, Bobby.
That looked
It's a zero-sum
like
game.
that looked like that was just the 10 just. Oh, Bustle's sliding too. Yeah, the 10 just loses it here. Loses it to the left, loses it to the right. Oh.
Took 2 corners before we got the hashtag going. Ain't that right, Josh?
Yeah, I'm telling you, you'll see a lot of that in this replay. There are a lot of people losing it under braking.
Oh, and then got Jim.
Yeah, like Jim was clear, and I went back and watched it just because I wanted to see what was going on. And Jim was clear, and a certain someone who was parked sideways, wheels started rolling forward. I was a little confused.
Oh, there's the 07 off the track in the next
Where's
corner.
the 07 going? That Tim, he tried. He did a really good job being out of the way when faster cars called him. God bless him. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried about this gaggle we're watching right here as I was trying to catch back up. It's like, how am I gonna navigate around these guys?
Hey, now.
Well,
Nikki, I knew you were
Nikki
quick.
got clear.
Quick-ish, yeah.
And then I was behind Bryce. And let's see.
I was behind Bryce. I just got a disco. I was like, can I? I'm inside. Just he went all the way to the outside when I said that.
Good. Fast forward and on here. I know we had a lot of.
Oh, what was that?
What? Go back.
Oop.
Was that the 10?
No. 10's
Oh
20
no,
seconds behind at this point.
that's the Genius in the 28 car.
Oh,
That's the 28 and the 47. Little synchronized swimming here. 47's off in the background too.
Oh
He
yeah,
really
he is
struggled.
off.
He struggled to get back going too. He lost his soul.
how
like 10,
insane
15
these
seconds.
cars are to be in 4th gear, hit the gas, and the back tires just light up.
It just spins the whole time. I don't think I hit
So-
full throttle after like lap 2. The rest of the race.
So somewhere here, very quickly, Tristan dies. Because it was not long. Anything else here in the first couple of laps, or just kind of stick with these guys?
Right
just-
here. Right here.
Is this where Tristan died?
Well, I know Bryce ends up dying, and he really gets unlucky with the damage model
Yeah.
because
I
later on in the race, Chris Stouffer has the same exact spin or very similar, and he gets like no damage. It's right there, the 10-minute lap.
And Bryce's damage was keeping the hood in front of his view. So he could not.
It'd be lap
throw
3.
any of the up.
So it should be this.
Tristan hasn't wrecked here just yet. Actually, he's about to lose it. He's going to lose it on this lap.
He
Because
gets,
a
he
lot
gets around
happened all
Bustle.
within. Oh well. Is that Bustle just losing it, or Bustle just slow?
Bustle's just slow. He lost it at one point, disconnected. Because I know I congratulated Luke on getting into the second round of the bracket challenge.
I think Tristan lost
in there.
lap
Oop,
15.
turn that off. Oh, there's
Oh, no,
Tristan.
that's
Yeah, he went off right there.
Yeah, just wide. That corner was really tough. That little complex right there.
It was
I
hard
lost it.
because you would you're trying to brake in a straight line, and the track kind of like dips and then bottoms out, all in your braking zone there. And so it was really easy if you got on the brakes in just the wrong place, then it would unload and you'd start sliding.
Well, there were certain curbs you could hit and it would throw the car, but like
Yeah.
it'd be fine. But if you hit that curb,
Oh.
no, it was all over. You're going to the outside.
Bryce. It's the end of Bryce.
Yep, this is the end of the 84 Bryce Shoemaker here.
I came back.
Over that ridge. Oh.
I did that in practice. You couldn't go full throttle through there.
Oh, yeah, no, you could not.
He tried to get back to pit road. Very
Missing a-
slowly. Oh, he's missing a tire too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's missing a wheel, isn't he?
The right front's gone.
I don't know. Josh Gary in YouTube chat wants to know who
Oh.
decided to race Sonoma.
I think that was a league decision.
I'm trying to figure out. Oh boy.
You can feel the pain here.
Well, if I remember
Oh,
right,
boy.
I believe we really liked it in the Xfinity car, and then we.
It was good in the Xfinity car.
We had
And
some
remember-
good
haters.
I had fun. The car's super hard to drive.
I'm here to announce we're going to Spa next year. So,
And this thing? Oh.
nah. Who knows what car we're in? We don't know.
You just stay in this thing. This thing's fun.
We'll let you make the decision. You might pick the Wheel and Modified.
Spa on the mod. Down.
2 gears.
You might want to go late model.
on the fucking chip. Halfway down fucking whatever fucking straightaway that is.
Top of the
Camel.
ridge.
Yeah.
Wish we could get Tristan in here.
Yeah.
Did you ask him?
You know what? I will.
Ask him where he was
will.
going
Oh.
on lap one.
Oscar's in the waiting room.
Yeah, we got
Oscar is in
let's
the
get
waiting
him
room.
in
Let's
here.
let's get our
Beast.
first guest in here. We got our first guest. He's the driver of the 26.
He had,
He
fun
had an
tonight.
eventful evening.
He had fun.
If the kids aren't in bed, put them to bed. Because this one might get spicy. Let's bring
He's
in
not Osapek.
one Oscar Jensen. How was your night, buddy? Oscar,
Oh God,
you're live. You're on the air.
I'm ready.
Okay,
Got-
here we go.
got the button
How
ready.
was how was your night, Oscar? I
Beautiful.
saw you had a couple of off-track adventures.
Absolutely loved it. Honestly, I mean, I couldn't have been more pleased by the outcome of our race. I'm glad we destroyed the car in every angle that was shown. You know, I'm honestly glad the drivers are still alive. So, all that I'm really proud of.
Was that shortcut working out for you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gained about half a second, then had to give it back up, and doubled that time by even more. So, in the end, we hit the barrier only maybe 4 times. So I think that's a success.
So there's apparently some budding beef. Talk to us about the 70 and the Kyle Larson move there as he's trying to lap you. What's going on there? Where's the beef?
Oh man, I don't know. Like, I don't really have, or I haven't really had any issue with Aaron before. I guess like my whole issue was last week when we were on 14 lap pressure tires. He let me by, then I went to attack, or I attempted to pass Joseph, and about lap and a half later, instead of even allowing me to pass Joseph, he just decided to hang on my right side and just never let me get the chance to get around Joseph for the lead. I mean, I mean, I get it. He's going for a race, win too, but the fact that I've usually let him by when he's come up, whether that's quicker, off speed, or just fresher tires, especially after Daytona where I stuck with him and I told him I was going to stick with him the whole, like, last 10, 15 laps, and then he does that crap. It was, I don't know, it just pissed me off.
Understandable. I mean, 14 lap tires makes such a difference at Atlanta too. So,
Yeah.
are we done? Are we even? Or are we gonna carry this on like Denny and Ross and never ever be done? Apparently. Can we get the Dale Jr. soundbite? What do you think?
I'm
I
hoping
guess
for
we'll
Danny
have
and
to
Ross.
see. I mean, unless he does anything, more to piss me off, then I think we're pretty much even right now. But
Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait a second. Things are getting spicy.
Yellow.
Things are getting spicy.
Oh, I picked the right week to join.
We're about to get an increase in potassium, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-oh.
It's the Banana
Oh.
Man himself. Let's get his side of the story from Atlanta. Let's get his side of the story from tonight. We're going to bring in Mr. Aaron Smith, driver of the 70.
And before he gets going, let's just go ahead and get this all set up.
Arby's. We have got beef, motherfuckers!
70, you saw your first set of taillights tonight. Talk to us. How was the race?
Well,
How'd it go?
They got smaller at the start of the race, then they got bigger, then they got a little too big, and I had to fall back a little bit. And then stuff happened. They got really small, and then they got really big again, and I couldn't get close enough to them to send them into the Shadow Realm. So
Stuff
it didn't work
happened.
out
What
in
kind
my
of stuff are
favor.
we talking about here, bud?
I
Let's
wonder.
hash it out. It's WOSCRL Court.
I completely forgot about the alternate route I could have taken through the S's.
Ooh.
I could
was
have gained
waiting.
a solid 8/10 there at the end, and I completely forgot about it.
I was waiting for it.
I didn't know what the legality was of that, the line I had planned. I would have gone straight through the sand there against that inside wall on the concrete, but I didn't know if that would have been accepted, so I didn't really take the chance. But I wish I would have. I wish I did.
We would have had a lot more. This would be the most active post-race show we've had yet.
Yeah, we would have had
If,
more. We would have had everyone.
if anything crazy would have happened. So how was lap traffic tonight? I know you guys are going through a lot of it. What do we
most of
think?
them were
Did
pretty
everybody
good.
do a good job?
Yeah, I mean the track's already thin enough. You can't really do much if you're a lap car. You can only go so far out of line without killing yourself. So I can understand when some people are sitting on the racing line and not really going the speed they should be. But it is a pretty short track as far as road courses are concerned, so it's easy to come across those guys early on in the race. But a couple of them were just a little tough.
We're seeing on screen here a very interesting racing line through the S's, but
What is this? Apparently, Oscar had a hard time keeping it anywhere on the black stuff.
well, he had already jacked up that left front,
Things sucked
so
at that point.
that thing would not turn right very well, from what I could see
That left-
already,
that
even
left
before I
front
got
is,
to that point.
knocked out. It was meatballed. I ate when I spun it in the last corner. I ate the freaking tires, and that knocked out the left front. And I didn't realize how bad it was until I went up the hill. And then it was like, oh, we're going straight when we should be turning right. And that was beautiful, honestly. And the fact that I made it back around the track was pretty much a miracle, because I mean, I literally couldn't go right. It just wanted to go left because there was no left front.
So it was that bad. It looked pretty
Yep.
rough watching that lap there. Do you think you had anything for the 77, Aaron? Before we get into
Yeah.
anything more?
I had something for him about 3 separate times. Something would always happen every time I got right behind him. I didn't want to dump him because with these cars, unlike the Xfinity cars, if you even dare to touch the guy in the back bumper, it just spins him out. And I didn't want to be that guy. Mark hasn't done anything to me, so
Fair.
I didn't want to make that mistake and set that precedent for myself. But it still stings a little bit.
Fair.
Okay, so I thought of something when you said that. We did have that happen tonight.
Who got into who?
Tristan got in the
Ow.
tilt.
All right, we're done picking on Tristan. He
Never.
doesn't a good enough job making a fool of himself on his own. All right, so since you're dancing around the question, trying to be politically correct, I'm just gonna come right out and ask it. Are you all even now? Oscar was a little upset that you were hanging his right rear at Atlanta, 14 lap older tires. He held you
Well-
up a little bit. Are we even, or are we gonna get a Denny and Ross for the rest of the year?
I mean, I was one step too late in making that completely useless there. If I had just an extra lap or two, it wouldn't have mattered. But I'm over it. I'm fine with it, honestly. But the precedent that's been set there is
This
that
is
racing
insane.
Oscar is enough to piss him off. That I might as well get my money's worth next time, you know?
Oh, here we go. Storylines developing. This is why we do this. Why would it take us 7 seasons to figure this out? All right. Any other incidents or anything that you saw involved in? Want us to look at? Anybody else you had beef with? We haven't gotten to the biggest one. We got some radio. Got some radio traffic off the off a couple of guys there towards the end of the race. Not me and Bobby,
Joseph.
because I was just yelling at Bobby for the sake of. Let's check out lap.
I was politely invited to eat dog food.
I said I was gonna wreck the dog food out of you. I didn't tell you to eat dog food. I was gonna wreck the dog food out of you.
Okay, where are we going? What are we looking at?
32-41 coming to 42. Tristan says he lost it in turn 1 to not run into the back of you.
Okay, lap. What lap?
I can see that.
What
He's
lap are
running
we
into
looking?
3 other cars behind you, but it is what it is. Whatever. 41 coming to 42. Like, hit 42 and rewind it till the hairpin, or like coming into the hairpin.
I thought the race was only 40
Or
laps.
go the long way around.
I wish the race had only been 40 laps.
Oh man, look at that lap traffic in front of him.
I was getting into it like 3 to go.
That's a gaggle. That is a gaggle. I did not expect these things to be such a handful.
I think the lap before, Aaron and Mark split Tristan in the S's.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted to take it 3 wide right there.
I
didn't know
I
if the
wouldn't
gap was
have.
gonna close.
There's the first.
Oh. Now there was some radio chatter while this was happening. Should we turn that on or just?
Oh yeah.
He's telling him to let him go, yeah. Or he's asking him where he wants it.
Yeah, right. Like
And Joseph never said anything. Like, I don't.
Hey, Tristan said he'll join, so.
I'll give you that side here, quarter.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to let him go.
Or take it there.
Now, to be fair, Tristan just asked, he said, I'll give you the inside here as he was on the right side heading into a right-hand corner.
100% sure he meant turn 11.
Well, yeah, but I can see where see where Joseph might be a little like, wait, you said you're going to give me the inside. But
he just said it a little early.
Take
Said
it here.
a little early.
He says take it here if he wants it. And to be fair to Tristan.
Tristan's well out of the way.
All right, pause it.
Tristan's in the waiting room.
Oh my!
We'll bring it in to 10. Let's get his side of the story on this. To be fair, the final contact here was not Tristan's fault.
What's going on, Tristan?
Hello, are we talking about the McCorder incident?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you are live on the air, by the way.
That's fine. I'm not. It's a race.
Go ahead, man.
Coming out of the S's, I told McCorder I planned on giving him the inside going to the hairpin. I thought that was pretty clear. He decided to be a little bit more aggressive, which I'm fine with. But when he goes out there, I'm just like, what can I do? So I try to hit the dirt. Obviously, with that being that turn, I'm going to have momentum carry outside. I hit him. Going to the hairpin, I go as high as I could to give it to him, and I get hit on the front stretch. I have no reason to race the third place car sitting in 10th. I'm just trying to stay close to Nicky Bobby, who I'm within the bracket and have like busted my ass and gained like 16 seconds on in that last stage because that messed up restart. I started like 8 seconds behind the field. So I was just trying my best to get up there, and that's how it ended. So hopefully Joseph's not mad. I mean, it is what it is. He finished third. He's a great driver, but that's where he was going to finish. He wasn't beating Mark or Aaron. So,
looking at the replay here,
no arguments for me on that.
You're way.
I don't have any issue with any of the way any of this went down.
Yeah, you were well off
From
to the
your
right
end,
here.
Tristan.
Now it does look like you kicked the curb a little bit here. You're trying to hug it as inside as you can, but yeah, that curb kind of
All you
kicks you a
gotta
little
do
bit
is-
to the.
if he would have
To
told
the
me
right.
like 2 seconds before that, like, hey, I'm going to pass you here, Tristan, I would have checked up more. But I did what I told him I was going to do, was give him the inside, and there was no communication from Joseph. So I'm just like, I'm going to go into this turn like I expected to, and it caused contact. So
Yeah, that to me just looked like some simple miscommunication. Like you were trying to do the
where
right
the
thing.
real
He
issue
didn't
happens,
communicate.
though.
Yeah. So you pitch the brake there. You end up running way to the left, and by this point you see Joseph coming, and you're like, "All right, just go." From what it looks like here.
Look how, but
Oh, Joe got loose.
And
yeah, but he's trying to
apparently
run it
told
all
him
the
he was
way.
clear. And so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I mean, I hugged 3 or 4 feet off the wall as much as I could, but I mean, I can't hit the wall, and I was going like 90 miles an hour. It's not like I was going to swing way too far out. So
And you can't, like, I found in practice you couldn't run that tight because you were
yeah, I was
just
gonna
gonna
say if I
spin.
ran it any
You had
tighter,
too
I was
much
gonna
wheel
clip
in it.
that wall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I said, hopefully Joseph's cool after tonight. He finished where he was supposed to. Finished with a top 10. I'm fine. Just don't really understand the call out in the post race, but
Yeah, I don't know why he's so mad in the interview. He gives you exactly one car's width here. Which, I mean, the 70 is so far up the road with nobody but Mark in front of him. Like, the only
like, I
reason
had
he's even
Biggie right
close.
in front of Bryce. That's, I mean, we're both racing for position, just on a completely
Right.
different lap.
Now, he said he was faster than Mark and Aaron. Was that true? You look at the lap times.
No. The gap was only getting bigger from what I saw.
As I say, and my thing is,
Yeah,
if
no, I
anybody
was
had the
looking at
right
my
to be upset-
delta, and he.
if anybody had the right to be upset there, like my car was killed. I was running 40 the rest of the race, and he loses like what, like a half of a second, if that.
No, I tend to agree. I don't think you did anything wrong there. But you also have to consider the source of the anger too. So
You know, looking at the onboard there, I think what maybe has happened here is Joseph just I don't know what kind of monitor he runs. But
VR.
like you were
got no
kind
FOV excuse.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Because going into that last turn here, coming out of the S's, you know, from his cockpit view, I can see where he may not know that Tristan's still there, so he kind of turns in, and then there's the contact. So I can see where he's like, "Hey, okay, what the heck?" And then coming out of the hairpin here, I wonder if same thing. I wonder if he just completely just didn't see him, because
I just think
he just turns
care,
for that corner
but-
like Tristan's not even there.
Yeah, even in the narrowest FOV VR headsets, you can still see out of the corner of your eye the cars next to you. So I don't
Gotcha.
really know if that would be the right
Hard, too.
excuse. Like my headset is trash, but I can still see like the cars next to me without turning my head and all that.
If Aaron can see
I
it,
didn't
then
know VRs
yeah,
ran on
everybody else can
potatoes.
see it.
Oh yeah, they do. Got a new headset coming in soon. It's not going to be able to, but that should be interesting to try it out.
Well, Tristan, I don't think
Is
you did
this one
anything
not?
wrong.
Is this one not a blame Tristan moment?
We're hashtagging
It's all.
blame Joseph.
I
yeah,
got
and
another one.
and that first lap where I just like completely lost it.
Oh, yeah,
Frank
you
Line,
just lost
I was
it,
just
you're
trying
fine.
not to hit. I was just trying not to hit Bobby there because I was.
What
I had
about,
a lot of.
What about
I
Tim?
wasn't even mad about it.
Oh, well, Tim, that was I was kind of pissed off at that moment, and he was there. I locked up the brakes, and he got sent. That was a blame Tristan moment.
Well, stuff happens. I get it. All right, Bobby, look at your last lap, and damn, you wound up going to 125. I've noticed you were like 4 seconds back after I yelled at you.
Yeah, so like I had that time where I had to get the car repaired, and then I ran 19. That was the lap that was the 19 888. And
Kyler, have you done points?
No, I'll do it right now.
so my
Okay,
problem, so even on that lap that I ran that 19 888, I think this is the same lap. Like I completely missed the hairpin. Like it just would not turn.
Oh, so
Oh,
I'm
that
not
must
even
have
to
been the
blame
lap
for you
before.
not getting
Well-
the fastest lap. You just suck.
So
Hashtag blame the 9. Is what everybody in YouTube chat likes to do.
So I'm like, okay, I got to reset. I'll get going on this lap, and now there's a smoking car in front of me.
Tristan.
Hey, if
Respect the
iRacing let him out, the meatball
meatball.
was cleared. The meatball was cleared if he got out of pit road.
He didn't stop at his box.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
I
sure.
went through pit road, and when I asked you, I was like, I have 2 laps. If I pit, I think I was good to the end. But if there would have been one more lap, I'd have gotten DQ'd. But if I would have pitted, I'd have lost the spot. So I was like, I'm trying to stay out as much as I could. And luckily, Aaron and Mark passed me. So when they hit the checkered line, I hit the checkered line.
Yeah. So, like, and I was telling these guys before we went live, let iRacing officiate it. We just won't clear it. So if you got 2 laps left, you got 2 laps left. You can stay. I mean,
Well, and I was
risk the
kinda surprised
DQ or go
with
get
that-
it fixed. You know what I mean?
Which with that much smoke, I was like, I'm surprised I'm not gonna blow up. But all my temp gauges and everything were fine. So I was like, I guess I'm good for 2 more laps. I'm just not gonna be fast whatsoever.
Typical.
Look at this bonehead rejoin. Like, that's the line through the corner, Patrica.
I looked at the relative and I thought you were further back than you were, and I was like, okay, I'm going to keep it as far to the left here as possible.
At least he didn't take poor Bryce out of his rejoin. Lawrence.
Iron Man award goes to Bryce Shoemaker driving around that bucket of fuck all night.
So, and then you can't see it on this screen here, but that last lap. So this is the lap that was the 140. Or the
I'm
what?
super slow right here. I'm like just driving fast
the
enough to
131.
not wreck it.
And this lap here ended up
125. I had no concept of like the fact that you had pit or anything. I was just trying to get home because my rear tires were so fucking cooked.
right around here is where I got yelled at.
Yep. No, you didn't get yelled at there. You got yelled at.
We'll hear it. We'll hear it.
We'll hear it in just a moment.
Thank you, Skylar.
So Lawrence, how do you want me to send you your half of the $10?
Just keep it.
Bobby, I will wreck the dog food out of you. What are you doing? Trying to get the fastest fucking lap, but okay, whatever.
And that threw me
And then
off. So
then you hit it again. I mean,
then I hit that again. Yeah.
At some point, nailed the first set of tires there. How did he end up finishing? Did he even?
He's a couple laps down, I think. I kept track of him just because he
lap 7.
he was my bracket matchup this week. And then when I saw the first lap stuff and he was involved, I was like, okay, we're good.
I want you to go and find Chris Stoker's spin.
It's
as well.
probably the lap 7, Bobby.
Yeah, because that thing's already destroyed.
Well, he hit things on multiple
Where's
occasions.
Oscar going?
He's taking an alternate route.
So
That
he
spot
pulled a
was
Bryce
so
here.
treacherous. Full throttle.
Oh.
The car's loaded up on the left. I think he got meatball right there, did he?
I think so.
Either that or he just was like, my tires are completely shot and I'm not gaining anything anyway.
He got a meatball at one point.
Where's our bracket?
I have no idea how I'm getting through next week.
You got Aaron? You're
When
not?
it was me and you, I was like, you better thank Joseph because I at least wanted to race for it. That kind of went out the window, and I was like, well, either one of us wins, gonna lose to Aaron.
Yeah.
Barring he get kicked out of a race due to lag or something. But
Well, remember, it's at Bristol, not Michigan.
so who's reckoning?
Things could
Aaron,
happen.
how are you at Bristol, Aaron?
I'm pretty good at Bristol.
Oh, of
You
course
driven
you
this
are.
car at Bristol yet?
Are you are you bad anywhere?
New Hampshire.
Okay, it's on the schedule.
To be fair, my bad's probably like 4th. I don't know yet.
I think we just need to try Monza. Just
Monza no chicanes like the Coke Series did.
we bought the
I
track.
can vouch for that. Stock
I'm
cars
here
there
for
are
it.
really fun.
I'm here for it. That race looked like
Yo.
fun.
You gotta add the oval on there too.
No.
Yeah,
These
get the whole
cars are
combined circuit.
great.
The oval's just
One
death.
green.
They complain too much about the oval.
The oval is just not going to be fun. We would have had as many cautions as we did at LA.
That's fine.
No, you gotta run the combined circuit so you don't get any cautions, but you can run the oval too. Probably hit
Clash
220
next
with
year.
these things.
Clash next year. Book it.
Oh, this was very unfortunate here.
It's all turkey timeline. Okay. I think that's all the real.
Oh, this is when Lawrence wrecks.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the fuck you guys are going because I was like slow and like didn't deviate from my line and was like off the racetrack to make sure I didn't get in your way.
Oh, Gary, I saw this live.
I only saw him blink once the whole race.
Can we go back a couple laps on this and look at the pass I made right off the restart because that shit would have made Max Verstappen proud. I toot my own horn a little bit because this was the best thing I did the entire race. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. Or whatever YouTubers say. I don't do YouTube. It's great. Now I want a crunch wrap. Thanks, Bobby. Okay. So this was really fun for like a lap. And then I got put back in where I belong and just kind of rode around the rest of the race. Drove it in deep.
Verstappen.
And then,
wouldn't have locked up.
and then Calamity. What?
Verstappen wouldn't have locked up.
Well, Verstappen's not driving a 3,000 pound stock car with drum brakes, essentially, and fucking 14-inch wide tires, if that.
Give him one off week on iRacing, he probably will.
You're not wrong.
I get shoved off here, and then I get shoved off again the next lap. But like I got put back where I belong, so it was fine. Oh, that was a nasty save. I was completely sideways. I don't know how John got so much grip out there. I was like, I'm on the inside. I should be fine. Or Gary, not John. I was going wide anyway, but I also couldn't turn it back
This is
in.
when I thought you were done.
I'm never done. Never say die.
And then this right here was just really, really unfortunate. So Keith goes really wide here to give you space. I can't see exactly where you are, so I'm just following Keith.
Well, just watch it and you'll
And-
understand where I am, and there's no reason you should have done what you did. My lefts are on the yellow line to stay out of y'all's way. And then I looked up and saw you guys were going wide, so I was like, I'm just going to exit the corner. That's fine.
I must have had target fixation or something on Keith because Keith goes out, hits the wall.
Did you meatball right? Yeah, you got meatballed from that?
No, I did not.
No.
Not that
You
one.
meatballed yourself later.
Yes, I
we
meatball
go
myself
find-
later.
Can we go find Chris's wreck around this time as well?
I meatball myself.
Let's look at Chris's wreck because
It's
Well,
very
finishing-
similar to Bryce's.
finishing 15th is completely irrelevant, Bobby.
Okay. What lap are we thinking here?
It's
It
that
should be right around
131.
that same time.
I think it's lap 28.
Yeah, there's a 131 in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's the S's again.
None of these guys in front of me wrecked themselves bad enough for me to gain any position. It's kind of upsetting.
Well, I don't know how this wasn't bad enough.
Jumps the curbs.
Must have been the next lap.
Yeah, it was. Bobby,
Like
for a
it
guy
was-
that complains about Fox's cameras, you sure do love the blimp cam. Just saying. It's almost like Chase. There you go. You can actually see what's happening to the car.
No, if I was Fox, I would stick it on that camera right there. And if you look way back in the background here, you'll be able to see 2 pixels go off in the dirt. No, that's Fox.
It's not that bad.
That's Fox coverage.
They bring you NASCAR for half their schedule that you don't have to pay a cable bill for. You will like it. There goes Luke.
Oh, it's wobbling. Oh, it's wobbling. Oh, no.
You know why that didn't kill the car?
Why?
Because he hit it dead head on and not at an angle. Same with me. I hit the tires after the Gary thing, just completely straight, just crushes the front bumper and you keep going.
Yeah, that's what started the battle with him and Gary, and Barry.
That was a good fight. They were pretty close to each other the whole time.
He had literally no damage from that.
Gary was fast. I was honestly kind of surprised, but I don't know why, because he's been fast the last 2 weeks. He's just been invisible.
And from all accounts that we can find, he had good internet this week. So
Yeah.
It might have been 14 cars and not being all packed up too. So there's that.
true.
Or 15, 16, 17 cars, however many were out there tonight.
I wonder what tracks he doesn't have.
Stage points show up on Sim Racer Hub?
Oh, everybody in the dirt.
They're added into your race points.
They're just added into the race points. Okay.
So it's a NASCAR scoring thing. So you should just have one more point, like a point better than where you finished. Oh, look at that. We could have started it next week, and me and Luke still would have been the 4 or 5 seeds. Am I going to make the playoffs this season?
Better win.
I don't know. I don't think we're going to get 9 winners. I can point my way in this year. Although, I am going to miss Charlotte, so probably not. Fuck you, Skylar.
Oh, drop week.
Yeah, we get 2 of them.
1.
1. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to miss any other ones. So. Unless we have a race the night of the Bristol night race, which if we do, you're fired and we're changing the schedule.
What day is that?
You're actually sitting pretty on points right now.
September.
September.
That might already be in the playoffs, though.
Here's my death.
I think that's the Roval race.
Yeah, it
Or
is.
North Wilkesboro.
Oh,
It's the Roval.
We'll already be in the playoffs and all already been eliminated mathematically.
Yeah, it's the third to last race of the year.
So Aaron will already won the championship. He won't even have to show up.
That's the mindset we like to hear.
It really is.
I'm a truth teller.
all right. Any other incidents we need to take a look at here?
No. Not that I can think of, so let's go and find out who won our bracket challenge matchups this week. Okay, so Bobby, you had the unfortunate initiation here this week.
I thought he was gonna get him.
I bet you did think he was going to get him, but you also, I need to get with you on that.
I thought it was gonna be a St. Peter's run.
I need to find out. I need to find who your weed dealer is there, Josh, because that's that good shit.
I don't think Tristan's here. He would have got that joke.
What'd you say?
I said it was going to be a St. Peter's run for Bobby.
Oh, that was hilarious. Just like the African American Studies class at Carolina. We gonna talk about that one, Randy?
No.
No, go to the bracket.
Okay, so first matchup, the 1 versus 16. Poor Bobby.
Yeah, let me see if I could pull it up here on screen. Let's see.
He shouldn't even have showed up. Aaron was the 1 seed.
He was
coming
the last
in.
minute ad. It was going to be Aaron versus Allen.
Yeah, but Alan was working on his real race car. So
Yeah.
he came in Discord like 20 minutes before the race started and went, just want to wish you guys luck. I'm not running tonight. And I was like,
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. If Tim Hendry didn't join like 10 minutes before the race, it was going to be Aaron versus Mark Whitley.
And Aaron would have still won.
Mark would.
no, Mark would have won. Mark won the race.
Yep.
I thought Aaron. This whole time I thought Aaron won.
You
so
got
that
it pulled
gives
up,
you
Bobby?
the awareness.
Let's see, where do I go?
Yeah, we need to talk about moving the Roval race because, no offense, if I'm at Bristol or not, I'm probably gonna be watching the Bristol night race. Anyhow, and I feel like a lot of guys are gonna feel the same way. Anyhow, our first match was Aaron versus Bobby. We've seen Bobby tear the car up 6 or 7 times, so we can kind of assume how that one went. The 8 and 9 matchup was one of the more interesting of the night. Tristan versus Nikki.
That
And had
actually been
Tristan
good.
not had problems,
We
that
wrecked with him trying to pass me, bro.
that would have been.
That's where I was gonna fight hard.
Let's say there was a second between us, 3 laps to go.
Blow that up a little bit bigger, Bobby. Yep. That's really hard to
see.
Try to fill the top and bottom. Fill it top to bottom. Anyhow, so Nikki winds up moving on by like what 1 or 2 positions if we don't have the last 3 laps of the race. So that was interesting.
Got a bye week.
Got a bye week. Who got a bye week? Luke got a bye week? Yeah, Luke got a bye week. But in fairness, we could have been anywhere and he probably would have had a bye week. Had it not been for lap 1, no, I got a bye week too, let's be honest. Maybe Jim had a rough evening.
He was up to 10th at one point, and I don't know what the hell happened to him.
He hit everything but the pace car.
He was I was in 9th, he was in 10th, and I swear I saw him go into the barrels hard. That's when I came on the radio and was like, "Yeah, they put cement in those, didn't they tell you?"
That was practice.
I think that was practice.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that should be blowed up bigger now, so you guys can see it.
Way faster than Lawrence, and just thinking to myself, he's gonna hook me.
I was good for one, and I did absolutely try to hook you. I was good for 1 lap, honestly, and then I was in like the mid-20s. So, anywho, McWhorter versus Keith. That was a little bit of a lopsided matchup. No disrespect to Keith, he has pulled out some finishes in this league, but at a road course, that's going to be tough for him to.
Was happy with even what he got done. I mean, he wasn't happy, but he expected less.
He ran all the laps, as they say. John and Oscar, the only upset on the cards. We've obviously heard from Oscar about his adventures into everything but the pace car as well, including and not limited to the guy that ran P2 tonight. John moves on there, so McWhorter versus John, that should be interesting. Aaron, you're like friends with John, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I mean he's.
You brought him into the league, if I recall.
No, I don't think I did. He just showed up last season and came back.
That was Osipek.
Yeah, he's a lot faster
Okay.
when he's not on. I don't know what's been going on with him, but he should be much better in the next few weeks.
Osipek brought a lot of people in.
So Bristol, if memory serves, last year, I feel like he ran decently at Bristol in the Xfinity car. So that should be an interesting matchup. I would venture to guess the 32 blows his tires off at least once, if not 2 or 3 different runs. So that'll be.
I expect Bristol to be less cautiony than we think.
from what I understand, it doesn't drive bad, and it like doesn't ever wear out.
It drives
So
freaking beautiful.
that'll be an interesting. That'll be the couple of matchups to watch next week. Really everything. No offense, Nikki. Really everything but the 1-8 matchup there are pretty interesting matchups.
All I can hope for, no offense, Aaron, is that you get wrecked.
Not out of the realm. Not out of the realm. Tight quarters out there in the mountains of Tennessee. Gary versus Bryce, which I thought was going to be a much better matchup the way Bryce was talking during the week after practicing. He was pretty confident coming
He was
in.
actually pretty good in practice, too.
And I don't know what happened in the night besides eating the tire barrier. And then Stouffer versus Hendry. Obviously, we saw a couple times in passing Hendry having a tough night. I know I lapped him a couple times myself. Kudos to him for being really good about getting out of the way in a safe manner. So if you're going to be slow on the track but still want to run the laps, he did beautifully for that. So looking ahead to not Michigan, because we want to take an average of the Dega duels for the championship round, which I like. Especially because Dega's such a wild card. So looking ahead to Bristol, Aaron and Nikki, we kind of talked about that one. The matchup that I'm looking forward to the most, which is myself versus Mr. Duran, old Lukey boy. He and I have a history at Bristol after the 87s and me trying to run him down on 70 lap fresher right sides. That didn't pan out. McWhorter and Barry, I think, man, this one screams like proper upset. Luke's a lower seed than me, but
It's only a 1 seed
we're-
difference.
yeah, we're pretty even. So like, but that 11 versus the 3, I don't know. That one stinks. Like,
all it's going to take is a mistake by Joseph and a really good clean run by John, and he'll be there.
John's got to qualify. John's got to be able to qualify next at Bristol.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of his stuff is because he tends to start at the back and try to work his way forward. So if he goes out there and qualifies and really gives it hell, because the guy's got talent in droves, he's blown my doors off pretty much every time I've ever raced him here. So if he can keep the car clean, keep the fenders on it, that's probably, if I had to put a credit ones to watch on any of these matchups, that'll be it. And then Gary and Chris is interesting too, because Chris gets in a little bit of trouble and Gary keeps running like he does and has good internet. We could I don't see where we couldn't see a 7 versus 11 in the semifinal.
Yeah.
Another thing you got to think about.
Charlotte.
Another thing to think about with Joseph, he likes to. Him and the other driven drivers have gotten into wrecks with each other at short tracks before.
Yes, they fight each other.
They
hard.
fight each other really hard. Yep.
Now I have
They get
on
team
good
orders now.
authority
They get
that
team
there
orders
was a team meeting after the 5 flags incident that wound up killing all 3 of them in one swing. You guys can thank me for putting that track on the schedule and then not showing up to the race.
Yeah.
I thought you did show up to that one.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't run 5 flags. I was somewhere. I don't remember where I was, but I was not in town. But yeah, so those really everything, but no offense, Nikki. Everything but the top of the bracket there is pretty interesting. Going into Bristol. So now that we've gone through that, points haven't moved a whole lot. The biggest thing that stands out to me is obviously since Mark was here and won the race, he jumped himself up 13 spots. Me and Luke flip-flopped. Gary and McWhorter and Chris flip-flopped. Oscar and Nikki flip-flopped positions, but we haven't really moved a whole lot. In terms of points, Nick not being here dropped him 8 positions and kind of moved everyone under him up, except Michael Bustle, who lost 2 spots in the points, but Aaron's still driving away with pretty much almost max points. I think you're missing probably 6.
Got the points up on the screen, by the way.
Yeah, have we been counting the stage points at all? I might have missed that part of the conversation, but I don't see them here on the Sim Racer Hub.
They're factored in automatically, I think Skylar said.
Huh.
Like
Alright.
there's not an actual like data point for them on the spreadsheet, but they're factored in automatically. I can't believe I'm still 5th 3 races into the year. I usually run good at Daytona and then find myself like 20th. So I'm pretty happy with myself. Bob, are you gonna get out of the basement here or what? What are we doing?
We got what, Bristol next week? My goal next week.
Michigan next week. We're going to the Irish Hills of Michigan.
I feel decent about that one. I like those big, wide open tracks. I feel like that's a track that I'll be able to be decent as long as I don't step on my own cojones.
Are you gonna listen to your spotter when he says you're top of 3 wide? Even though you're top of 4 wide.
Even though I'm top of 4 wide, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think next week, I'll hopefully, like I said last week, I just want a good top 10 next week. And if I could be contending for a top 10 just week in, week out, I'll be happy with that. Some races I might get 11th or 12th, some races I might steal an 8th. That's fine with me, but as long as I'm in that realm of top 10-ish, I'll be happy with that.
Okay. I like it. How are you feeling about Michigan? Nikki? How we feel about Michigan? Yeah.
This car, what, like 208 miles an hour into turn 1?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to hear this thing screaming at like 9,500 RPM down the
I
front
did it
stretch.
when the officials went there and I had a blast. Don't remember if I was fast or not, but I don't know. It was
Speed is relative. Speed is relative. Aaron, you gonna go out there and win again?
No, that's the plan. Got the strategy ready. Just need to make sure it works.
Oscar, you gonna make sure that doesn't happen? Is Oscar still here? He
I
is still
guess we'll have to see how nicely we play next week.
What about you, Tristan? Where's the bar? Where's the bar for Michigan?
No bar.
No bar.
It's low.
What are our
no
lovely
meatballs.
broadcasters? How are they feeling about?
That's Tristan's goal next week. No meatballs.
I hear that shit. How are they? What do you guys think? What do you think we're gonna get out of Michigan next week?
We're just here for a good time.
I think there's
Heard
going to
that.
be a few choice people that destroy their cars the first 10 laps, and then it's probably going to go green the rest of the way.
A few choice people. Oh, we're not gonna name names. I thought we were here. Thought we were Arby's. Thought we had the beef.
Well, the 00 will probably wreck himself out.
Or speed on pit road, or run himself out of gas, or do any of the other dumb things that you've done this year so far.
I will be in the wall. I think this is the first time I wasn't in the wall.
I think tires are going to be big. I've run this car at Auto Club, not at Michigan. Obviously, pretty similar. I think tires are going to make a difference. I think you might see a queue of race cars behind the 9 again, like you did last week at Atlanta.
Two sets in the pits.
Nope. How many laps is it?
I don't remember.
Miles. 100 laps. I'm looking at it right now.
100 laps.
2 in the pits is doable.
3 in the pits.
2 in the pits.
3 in the pits.
Why do you need 25 laps a set?
Because you don't want to pile them up on the last restart. Spinning them.
With 2, we might see some strategies like Mark at Las Vegas last year.
We'll talk about it. I think we should go 3.
Piling up on the restart makes for a good broadcast and a great post-race show.
Exactly.
That is true. What's the fuel run?
TBD.
You said you ran it, Nikki.
How long ago did they go there?
Couldn't have been that long ago. We're on week 5 of the season. Or week 6 of the season. Stage at lap 25. Go 2. I suddenly like 2 in the pits a whole lot more. That'll be really interesting. I suddenly like that a lot better.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
I suddenly like only having 3 sets of tires. I don't know why. Mostly because Driven will step on their own dick strategy-wise and be upset about it at the end. Those are my favorite events of the last couple seasons.
Facts. Amen to that.
We fucked up strategy and now we're mad about it. That happened more than once. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, or last season or the season before, but it happened more than once.
Yeah, I just send the Ferrari memes when that happens.
It's more Joseph than Mark. Mark's pretty quiet, but like if they don't, especially Joseph, he doesn't finish top 3. He finds something to complain about. It could be like the track temperature, probably something stupid.
The setup was trash.
The track temperature is stupid.
Which, to be fair, most of the fixed setups are trash, but that's a whole other subject that we have nothing to do with.
This schedule
And
is
we all
really interesting after Charlotte.
I don't know why it always happens that I miss the Charlotte races, but I'm gonna miss Milwaukee too. That was my idea too. It keeps happening. All right. That covers pretty much everything, doesn't it? Outside of asking why, shifting to the real world, why do we even race trucks? But
Slot car challenge.
why is the truck series?
Why is the
That
truck
was-
series?
that
Kids
was-
with money.
That was a fucking shit show tonight. I don't know how much of you. I don't know
That's
if anybody caught a lot of it,
why
but
the truck series. Kids with
I
money.
watched Matt DiBenedetto show why he's worthy of truck series at the absolute most.
just absolutely murders Christian
Idiot.
Eckes.
I saw Kyle Busch run P7.
In a wrecked bucket of fuck, mind you. Kyle Busch should
I
not
still-
be. There should be a Kyle Busch rule in the truck series. He should not be allowed to race. Just
I still-
because if he's there and the truck's clean, he's driving away from Grant Enfinger, who managed to drive away from everyone tonight.
I want to know why I think Christian Eckes needs to visit his local Napa so that he gets some better brakes that he holds next time he's wrecked.
You never know. Like, he could have popped the brake line or something.
But I see exactly what Chase Purdy was doing, though. He's like, I'm about 400 yards away from the racetrack. I should be good down here, right? Wham!
I think Chase Purdy needs a better spotter, but that's just me. Who does anybody know who Chase Purdy's spotter is?
When in doubt, blame Brett Griffin. That's my motto.
It's definitely not Brett Griffin, because Brett Griffin was tweeting about being.
I still like blaming Brett Griffin.
I think he was in Gatlinburg today, so he definitely was not at Kansas.
Was he drunk tweeting on the Couch Racer account again?
I think he was drunk tweeting on his own account. But... all right. So our most fun segment, race picks. 2 races tomorrow at the same fucking time. Appreciate that. Liberty Media and fucking NASCAR can't get your heads far enough out of your asses to not put 2. Well, one's going to be really slightly less boring. We got F1 in Miami Gardens tomorrow, and we have the Cup Series at Kansas. Looking back at Miami last year, I think that was the start of the Mattia Bonato memes, if memory serves. Skylar, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I mean, when aren't they a meme?
Fair.
I mean, qualifying today, he been it.
Max won the race last year, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Max won last year.
Shocker.
Max was fastest in practice today. I didn't watch qualifying.
I wasn't
He
going to put it
started
on pole.
P9.
Who? What?
P9 didn't get a lap in.
Did it rain?
Apparently
No,
there was an
Charles did
incident.
Oh, he didn't. Okay, starting from P9. So The grid is mixed.
Charles.
Who's on pole?
Charles wrecked.
Perez.
It's always going to be a Rebel car on pole. Come on.
Perez. Perez, Alonso, and Sainz.
Huh.
With Kevin in fourth.
K-Mag is the Haas cars have been fantastic this weekend, from what I've seen.
The McLaren's been awful.
So your top 10 on the grid is Perez, Alonso, Sainz, Magnussen in a fucking Haas in fourth, Gasly, Russell, Leclerc, Ocon, Verstappen, and Bottas top 10.
Gary Smith's got K-Mag for the win tomorrow. Via the YouTube chat. Cheers, Gary. We'd love to see Haas win on American soil. It's just not going to happen.
Lewis is P13.
If a water spout spins up off the Atlantic Ocean and selectively...
Yeah, I've heard there's a chance of rain. Anyhow, so we've got Gary's pick. NASCAR Kansas, the 45 car is the only car that won there last year. 2 different drivers. I'm sure Bobby is as hard as he's been in 10 years thinking about going to Kansas. Naturally harder than he's been in 10 years, so we don't know. Hendrick front row lockout again. The 2 best cars in the field all year. Lining up on the front row. So did we start with Aaron last week? I feel like we started with Aaron last week. Oh, who picked? We had like 3 Checo picks last week, so like 3 guys won. And then the NASCAR picks, I don't think anybody had MTJ.
Oh, Bobby had MTJ.
Oh, Bobby had MTJ?
I had MTJ in NASCAR, and I had Perez at F1.
Okay, well, Bobby went 2 for 2 last week. Bragging rights there. He's probably going to do something dumb this week, like pick Bubba. So, well, the glory does not last long. All right, Oscar, who we got? We got Cup and F1 picks. Give them to me.
Cup. Kyle Busch. Very bold. F1. I don't know, man. I don't pay attention.
Not an
to
F1 guy. Okay,
Not really.
all right, that's fine. That's fine. You could lay out of that one. Kyle Busch showed some speed in practice. Both top 10 cars in practice today. Both RCR cars.
Kyle's car is plowing tight.
Well, if it's not wrecking off the corner, his car is plowing tight for Kyle. So, I don't hate that pick because it's an RCR pick, but I don't think you're going to get it. Tristan, Cup and F1. What you got?
I'm going to go Larson. I think it's his kind of track. He can run the hollow side. Hendrick's been strong. And then I know Max is starting 9th, but
qualified on pole, didn't he?
Byron on pole. Kyle
also,
Larson,
speaking of Byron, he needs to shave that mustache. It looks weird. He looks like a pet.
Well, he did. He is sponsored by Liberty University.
Like,
so.
I guess it's to go like make him look older, so he looks like he's 10 without it, but it doesn't make him look any better.
As long as Blaney's sister likes it, I think he's going to keep it. I can't say anything bad about the pick because you're probably not wrong, but that's the low-hanging fruit, so you're going to get Dr. Point for that. Aaron, Cup and F1.
I'll be that guy. I'll pick Bubba because he's cracked at Kansas for some reason, and I'll go with Alonso for the F1 race because it'd be interesting.
Alonso, I like the pick. I think you're wrong, and the Bubba pick is just ass. He can't pull his head far enough out of his ass to drive through a corner.
Bubba was the fastest.
So shut up, Bobby. You are not allowed to talk about Bubba Wallace. Shut the fuck up. Skylar, Cup and F1.
I will send you to Jesus.
Buddy, if I get to Jesus, something else has gone wrong.
Let's go, William Byron. And you know F1. Come on now. You see the profile picture.
I'm gonna need a tutorial on the soundboard at some point before next week's show.
Hey, you're lucky. I turned it down.
Get a stream deck.
It's really loud.
There was a couple of them that were really loud in this one.
Oh, yeah.
I turned that shit to 100 in our server.
Byron, it feels like if we're picking stage 1 and 2, I feel like you're probably right. But I feel like Rudy has been adjusting himself out of wins the past couple weeks, just trying shit. And this feels like one of those F1 weekends where Max winds up in some shit on lap 1.
Yep.
Just gonna put it out there. But, you can be wrong, just like the rest of us. Bobby, tell me why Bubba's gonna lose this race.
Oh boy. Well, last year he had the spring race. He had the fastest car by just an insane amount. His pit crew ended up fucking him like 4 times, and he still drove up to the top 10. That's the only reason he didn't win last spring. And then he dominated in the fall. That being said, I'm actually gonna go the 45 for the win tomorrow. I think Bubba's going to be good and strong, but I feel like that 45 car, Reddick is good at tracks like Kansas, especially where you rip the top. The 45 car was obviously won both races there last year. He's got momentum on his side, so I'm going to go Reddick for the win. Bubba's going to have a good race, but Reddick for the win. And then on F1, I'm going to go Alonso because I'm with you. I think that there's going to be some mid-pack mischievous stuff that happens on the start. And so those guys are going to all run over each other trying to get up to the front. And so I think it's going to be Alonso is going to pull one out.
I don't hate the Reddick pick, except for the fact that he's not driving a Hendrick Chevrolet. That's the only reason I don't think that the Reddick pick's going to come true, and I tend to agree with the F1 pick. Bobby, or the guy whose last name is Bobby in this league, Nikki, F1 and Cup, give him to me.
F1, Haas gonna bring it home with Kevin. First win.
You got the whammy noise on there? Boom, boom. And duck,
Also,
yep, that's a
weird one
duck.
to throw in there. Sargent's first points.
Ooh.
It was at this
Logan's
moment that he knew
car was
he
terrible in
fucked up.
F3 today, so
I didn't watch.
he was crying on the radio.
The fuck is a
I
kilometer?
was gonna pick Reddick, but he probably stole that for me.
What do you got for a Cup?
Watermelon Man.
The watermelon. Ooh.
Watermelon Man if Larson doesn't fucking
Ooh.
Chastain qualified. Chastain was qualified 3rd, and he was only let's see. Yeah, let's see. Byron was a 30.133. Chastain qualified 3rd at a 30.145. So 12 thousandths off of those Hendra cars.
That's interesting because in what universe does Kyle Larson let Ross Chastain buy him without just dog fooding him? That's the biggest obstacle for the watermelon man.
Ross,
he's still mad. Kyle is still mad.
Still mad, yeah.
And it pisses me off to no end. But Ross has this way of fucking over everybody else, and he doesn't get it.
He gets out, smiles with those
He
big,
gets out,
goofy
yeah.
fucking horse teeth, and like everybody's
Sorry.
cool with it somehow.
Dude, the highlight of Dover on Monday was Danielle Trotta's Twitter account because she's married to Robbie Benton, who's the 51 crew chief. She was fired up about Ross. Did I miss anybody? Is there anybody else in here that I didn't ask?
Me?
I didn't ask Josh.
No, you didn't.
Well,
I guess I'm just trying to avoid the L takes. Let's hear them.
It's a great take. F1's easy. It's gonna be Max.
Are we sure George isn't going to drive into the side of him?
Yeah, you fucking better not.
That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
As long
I
as
think-
a dickhead call out after it happens, I'm fine.
I think Truex is going to go back to back.
Not a bad pick.
Truex.
He qualified 4th.
And I also think he could go 3 in a row next week at Darlington.
Darlington is very much a Martin Truex Jr.
Have
kind of
they
track.
shifted the
Truex.
old 18 cars to Truex's car yet? Because they realize that Ty sucks.
Ty qualified 7th. And Kansas, I almost was tempted just on a complete dark horse to pick Ty because he ran actually really good last week. I don't like him, but he's done all the right things so far this season, and he's just working his way up every week just a little bit more. He's not overdriving his shit, and he's qualified 7th this week. Kansas is definitely a Ty Gibbs kind of track.
He's just been quietly just kind of been right there at the back of the top 10.
Yeah, he has.
Young Ty.
Basically what I did all last season.
Probably because he doesn't have his. Never mind. I'm not going to make that joke. That's fucked up.
I wonder where
gonna say-
Dixon is. Oh.
Like,
Sorry.
putting a
Ty Gibbs
fucking
fan
salad
over here.
bowl, putting a salad bowl on top of his fucking head, and then putting a razor to it, and some of the worst equipment in the Chevy lineup.
Facts. That's why Ty Gibbs is
It's
dope.
only going to get worse.
Ty Gibbs gets to go to a top tier organization, and poor Noah's stuck down at Legacy fucking Motor Club. I don't care how many championships are in the trophy case. They ain't fucking doing shit all year.
Especially now, because I guarantee you Chevy ain't going to give them fuck all for the rest of the season.
People want to say, "Oh, Eric Jones won the Southern 500 this year. Legacy Motor Club's on the way." Bullshit. 2 Toyotas had to blow up for him to even have a chance.
Kyle Busch had
Get
that
the
race
fuck
won.
out of here with that shit.
How about the news with Legacy Motor Club?
Good move.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I know David Wilson has been. Oh, we're gonna have more cars on the track next year. I didn't expect it to be that camp. But Maury Gallagher and Jimmy Johnson aren't stupid men.
If Toyota's
So-
willing to throw their money at them, if I was Legacy, I'd be like, hell yes, sign us up.
There's a lot larger slices of pie to go around in the Toyota camp. That's for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I feel like all the
Also gonna make
Toyotas
the Chevy pie go up.
are a lot tighter too.
Yeah, but the Chevys are still going to be RCR, Hendrick,
Yeah, fighting each other, which is an issue.
and then you got the B teams
Spire.
in. Spire's is a C minus tier.
No,
Come on now.
they're getting a lot of money to try and get Dale Jr. to come in.
Jesus Christ.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. That one
That
snuck up on me.
burrito?
No fucking pizza from Kickback Jacks. Wow.
like I'm in Highlander.
Yeah, Spire ain't shit. Ain't never gonna be shit. Especially as long as they keep the less talented, uglier, stupider Dylan brother in that 77. All right, F1. Knowing what I know now about qualifying, Max is kicking the rear tire of the car at some point before it gets hauled off on a wrecker. Yuki Tsunoda screams about understeer again. And Fernando Alonso gets a pass done in turn 1. Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez get together. And Fernando Alonso, at 41 years old in an Aston Martin, wins the Miami Grand Prix. Book it.
Can we talk
Put
about
the
how
old
Lance-
man.
That's a
Can we
hell
talk
of a
about-
specific.
Can we talk about Lance Stroll? Lance
And
Stroll
how he's still
started
going to finish 7th?
18th. He started 18th behind Lando in a McLaren.
F1 is a meritocracy, unless your daddy's Lawrence Stroll. Cup.
All the obvious
Which Hendrick
picks have been
car?
taken.
Which Hendrick car are you picking?
I want to go out on a limb.
He's gonna say Mickey Mouse, aren't you?
I want to go out on a limb.
He's gonna say Mickey
Oh.
Mouse.
I want to go out. No. I want to go out on a limb and say
TikTok, motherfucker.
I'm torn right now. Larson feels like the easy and the obvious. Every time that he's been wrecked
It's going out
this
off the big
year,
limb.
he's gone out and won the week later. So that feels like what's going to happen. However, give me the 48.
Oh,
Give me Josh Berry on some crazy ass strategy from whoever that crew chief is over there.
Blake Harris.
Blake Harris. They're gonna do something. Wasn't it Vegas that he? No, it wasn't Vegas that he ran second. He ran second
Richmond.
at Richmond, which is a short track. He's a short track guy. But for some reason, it feels like Josh is just going to kind of quietly hang around and then going to take 2 tires and put himself in position.
He kept himself hung around all week last week too. Did he?
Yeah, he
end up
really
on the
did,
lead
and,
lap?
and he's good at Dover.
And it's like
He's
generally
been good at
accepted
Dover.
that he's going to be in the 4 next year. Right?
I mean, he just signed with KHI management, not the actual race team, but he's signed with KHI management. So there's his foot in the door over there with Gene and Gunther and Tony. Even though Gunther has nothing to do with Josh Berry, but I just like mentioning Gunther because he's an American hero. I don't know. I feel like the Berry man gets it done, and then Alex comes back in a couple weeks and does fuck all nothing and doesn't make the playoffs because Steve. I'm sorry, but like, you take a team photo of Hendrick Motorsports, and it just felt like since Alex won one last year, didn't he?
Vegas, I think. Was that
Vegas
last
won,
year?
right?
Yeah, was that the one where Denny called him a hack?
No.
Or was that 2 years ago?
That's the one Kyle Busch said he backed into.
Wasn't that 2 years
yeah.
ago?
No, that was last year.
Okay. I should know. I have the shirt. But you take a team photo basically after Vegas last year. Alex disappeared. Didn't really hear from him much. So you take that team photo of Hendrick and go, which of these is not like the others? I think Chase's leg is still bothering him. I think he's going to win a race this year. I think he'll probably win 2 races at least this year. But I think the leg is still bothering him. And his record, his recent record at 1.5 miles, I mean, he's got an average finish of like 17th in the last like 8.5 mile races or something like that. Whatever that stat on Dirty Modo was the other day. But it wasn't a good one.
Off as being the series leader, right?
He's the biggest star in the series, but I don't know how you. I don't know. If Chase Elliott's our biggest star, NASCAR's got a much bigger problem. But
Ding, ding, ding.
But he'll get there. You're out of the car for 6 weeks. It's going to affect you. It's been the fucking William and Kyle show until Ross Chastain runs over Brennan Poole. And Willie at the end of that race on Monday he disappeared. I don't know what happened. I was looking up. I was like, oh, I'm looking like a genius for picking Byron. And then all of a sudden I look up and he's 8th and I'm not sure what happened.
Chastain just needs to own up to it. Put on the black hat if you're going to drive like that.
I think he does without saying as much.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Lose 25 points and $25,000? I didn't mean to every fucking time I get out of the car.
I'm so sorry. I'll go talk to him tomorrow.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
You think
NASCAR's not going to fine you for that. I don't know. I think NASCAR set a really bad precedent with Denny and fining him.
I hate that. Yeah, I hated that ruling. That penalty was ridiculous.
Because then you don't get. And then there was no consistency because Corey LaJoie, Corey was on stacking pennies after Martinsville. And he was like, yeah, I was trying to wreck the dog food out of the 8. He just didn't get it done. So I don't know if that's the difference, but that ruling was kind of silly in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anybody got anything else?
It's not like the way he even worded it wasn't even like, oh, I wrecked him. He said he wrecked him, but he said he lost it and decided not to save it. That's
Yeah, after the fact.
Yeah, that's.
But he goes, the original podcast was
I
an
really
embellishment, from what I understand. The original podcast, because I listened to it every week, and he goes,
2, and
he
was
goes,
trying to build up as many people as he could.
I see Ross on my outside. I look out there. I'm out making this corner, but you're coming with me. Like, come the fuck on, Denny. I don't know. And then to cry about the appeals process and whatnot after the fact on the pod, it's just like, make your bed, lie in it. It's not Ross's fault that your pit crew is good for losing you 3 spots every time you go down pit road.
How long is his contract with Joe Gibbs?
I don't know.
Who are we talking about?
Do you think he re-signs with them or
Denny?
goes 23-11?
James Dennis Hamlin.
Have we heard what FedEx is doing next year?
Not yet, but it feels really similar to M&M's.
Skylar?
Skylar, do you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, they're gone.
Great insider info.
That's it. I mean, they're doing budget cuts, so.
That don't mean shit, though. Marketing
Yeah, it
department's not
does.
gonna. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Just because your homies are getting laid off doesn't mean that the
I don't
marketing
give a fuck
department
about
budget
them.
got any smaller.
Be seeing you. Go Team Brown. UPS, by the way.
Team Brown.
UPS.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about the FedEx versus UPS rivalry next week. I hope Denny and Ross spend the entire race around each other next week.
Choice for them to pick Denny or to pick Ross.
Why'd they pick Ricky Stenhouse? Or I'm sorry. Why are they using that scheme on Ricky? Why are they using that scheme on Ricky? Not the sponsor.
I thought they were
I don't know.
on Ross.
They are. UPS is on Ross. There's two Dale Jarrett. There's 2 brown and white Dale Jarrett throwbacks for Darlington next week.
Yeah, they're using the same scheme on Ricky's car, just with that butter sponsor.
I don't know. Why not? Maybe Ricky was a big Dale Jarrett fan.
They'll take.
Maybe Brad Doherty wants to race the truck. I couldn't tell you. But Justin Marks just leaning headlong into the Denny and Ross thing and just all of it. And just Justin Marks is, and we're going to look back on this in 10 years and y'all are going to be like, damn, that guy was right. Justin Marks is the best thing to happen to NASCAR in terms of ownership that I can even think of. Just the way he does shit. Like the LED boards, the live music at the racetrack, just everything he does and the marketing genius of it. There's nobody better. Getting
Pitbull involved, and Pitbull's not just, like, oh yeah, he shows up for a race every once in a while. Like he's like Pitbull. Every time he gets interviewed about an album, like he's like, yeah,
he named his album Trackhouse.
Yeah, he named his album Trackhouse. Like. Whatever. Justin Marks is. And what's wild is none of us saw this coming because before he formed Trackhouse, we didn't really know anything about Justin Marks, other than he won that one road course race. He was a road course guy.
What a Mid Ohio
for Ganassi and Xfinity.
Or Xfinity, that's right.
And
he's a big Trans Am guy too. TA2.
Yeah. So we didn't know anything about him. All of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm starting a team," and everybody's like, "Justin Marks is starting a team? What the fuck?" And then a year later, he's like, "Oh, by the way, I just bought out Ganassi," and everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on over there?" Because nobody saw it coming. Because he looks at things in such a different way than most others.
And he looks at it as the problem with NASCAR ownership right now, with the exception of a few, is it's a bunch of old white dudes that aren't going to be around for a whole lot longer. that still think that you need to be cheating the cars up as much as possible and doing all that. Like Trackhouse and that, like that's where we need to go as a sport in order to grow with the younger fan. Because the legacy fan is the only fan at this point. Hashtag not an ad. But yeah, the legacy fan, the old people that call into fucking NASCAR radio on a regular basis.
Because they're not at work.
Because they're not at work or they're driving trucks. All those people are going to die soon. And then where do we go?
Wow.
Sorry, Robert from Massachusetts doesn't sound like he's doing too good. And if any of you get that, like, I appreciate you.
There's a couple of them, and every once in a while I'll catch it. I'll be like, there's one guy that I swear to God, he sounds like he's about 147 years old. And he calls in to Moody's show all the time. And I'm like, sir, are you okay?
I think it's Robert from Massachusetts who I'm thinking, because like that's the oldest guy I could think of. Like Kevin from Virginia is not that old. God, people were ripping him on Twitter a few weeks ago, and it's totally understandable. That dude goes on dissertations. Throw the spitters out, Nikki. But anyway, enough about that.
Yeah.
We've gone 100 minutes.
Let's
Any final
not
thoughts
run-
before we?
Yeah, I was saying, let's not run 2 hours tonight.
Any final
forgot-
thoughts before we hang it up?
I forgot to mention who UPS was sponsoring. It's
Ross.
Oscar's favorite driver, Carson Hocevar.
Oh, God.
Oh Lord.
Hey, Oscar, he wound up wrecked tonight, and it wasn't his fault. So I don't know
What?
if you watched any of the truck race, but
What?
Carson, he wound up wrecked tonight, and it wasn't his fault.
Oh yeah, I saw. But
At least the second one. He had a bunch of front end damage after the second one. So
it was enough to get Michael Waltrip to shut up about Carson for about 5 minutes. So you know, all good in the end.
Luke made a good point. Michael Waltrip is the perfect guy to be calling the truck series because the truck series is just a fucking meme, and so is Michael Waltrip's existence.
Good point. Now we know who Michael Waltrip's gonna do. Scrawny boys, I guess. Oh wait, a
funny
second.
hats. Any other final thoughts, Skylar?
That's about it, man. You know,
I know Skylar's got something dumb to say. Got
yeah,
to.
we're just here for a Max Verstappen win tomorrow. I want to thank my sponsors, Butt Kicker and oh wait.
This
I want to thank
this is
Lawrence for the
poster show.
entertainment on Sunday nights for wrecking.
I don't wreck on Sundays. I wreck Monday through Friday though. Fuck.
I just want to say thanks to all the A Open drivers. You all fucking suck.
You're welcome.
I wish I had 20 more minutes to stay up and drink another beer because I would cheers to that. Holy fuck.
The racing's been horrible, but yeah, that's about it.
Chris, you
Just
got
go ahead.
anything?
Yeah,
Any
go ahead,
final
Kristen.
thoughts, buddy?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, we'll be seeing you.
On the next week.
On next week, I heard that. Oscar,
just
any
my-
final thoughts not involving Carson Hocevar?
No, not really.
Okay. Josh, you talked about Carson Hocevar, so you're
Yeah.
banned. Bobby, final thoughts.
My first one is I sure as hell hope that I heal up over this next week and I can actually fucking breathe here in the next few days. That'll
Oh
be
wait,
really
guys,
nice.
did you know Bobby had surgery?
Mm-mm.
Kind of like when Joseph
Kidding, keep
drinks,
going.
he just repeats himself like over and over. But it's about the same lines.
Joseph has only given 3 interviews multiple times in this league.
Did you know he drove at Daytona?
Twice.
My fucking joke.
Where'd
Aaron,
you grab that?
70. Final thoughts?
I don't have any. I'm ready for Michigan.
Hell yeah.
Fucking right. Love this guy. Man, a few words, just goes out there and talks with his right foot. Nikki, I know you got something dumb to say.
Oh shit.
Well, you guys just made my fantasy picks for tomorrow. So let's see how that works out.
Thank you for reminding me to do fantasy. I was scrambling on Monday. I put in my lineup and didn't have time to make the race selection, like the matchup selections. I was so fucking pissed. Oh, final thoughts from me. If the 3-car has another day like he did on Monday, I'm gonna have to take the bullets out of all my guns at home.
We'll be seeing you.
All right, appreciate everybody in the YouTube chat for hanging out. Yeah, I am in danger. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. Hopefully, Max doesn't have George Russell driving to the side of him tomorrow, and Checo doesn't do the whole "I'm a tire saving wizard" thing.
Osama bin Russell.
All right. On that note, I'm out. Bobby, get us out of here.
All right. Well, yep, definitely been fun. We kept it under 2 hours this week. So, yeah, stay tuned next week. We've got Michigan coming up here in WOSCRL. It's going to be a lot of fun. Gen 4, 800 horsepower Michigan. That's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously, we'll be here for post-race show as well. And hope everybody has a good rest of your week. We'll see everybody.
And congrats to Mark Whitley
Yes.
on